All right. Listen, we on the air with us this hour is Vernon Parker, who has emerged victorious in the Republican primary for the new Congressional District 9, and also fresh from giving the radio address, the rebuttal address to the president's Saturday radio address. The president of the United States always gives a Saturday radio address. So the Republicans came along and said to Vernon Parker, you know, with this is a heck of a race going on in CD9. We would like for you to give the address. And there's never been a candidate who has spoken on behalf of either party is in the rebuttal to the president. And you did it Saturday. Did a great job too. And congratulations. And
thank you, Barry.
It is great to have you on the program. I got to ask you about something. Since we said this race is going to be I think it's going to be one of the top 3 most watched congressional races in the United States. In fact, we got 2.
It already is.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
And we got 2 here that they're watching like hawks. Yours in Congressional 9, and then the Jeff Flake and the Carmona thing, where Carmona, you got the same thing going on for your race with this woman, Kirsten Sinema, as Jeff Flake does with Carmona, because, you know, Carmona is putting himself out as sort of a mishy-mashy, kind of almost conservative Democrat. But at the end of the day, he's going to do exactly what Harry Reid tells him to do.
Absolutely. And, you know, we asked, I saw some press clippings where Carmona was asked if he would endorse Kirsten Sinema. And the answer was I'm running my own campaign. So even he's running away from her.
He's running away.
He's running away from her.
They're running these ads. I got to get you to talk about this. There's ads on TV, and they can be quite effective for people who don't understand what the Department of Education does, the United States Department of Education. But the ads are saying that Vernon Parker, he's extreme. He wants to abolish the U.S. Department of Education. And, of course, you know, to the uninitiated, it's sounding like schools aren't such a good idea. Let's shut down all the schools or something. Let's deprive people of an education. All right, because I heard it, and I didn't think twice about it. There have been a lot of us who understand the fact the U.S. Department of Education does not educate one child anytime, never.
Absolutely.
So, but then they're beating you up saying it's an extreme position. I didn't know that was an extreme position. Conservatives have been on this for a long time.
It's bizarre because I would not be sitting here but for education. My grandmother, she couldn't read, she couldn't write. But she really instilled in me, she raised me, and she would always tell me, go to school, do as a good of job as you can. And it just pains me because, to me, education has been the pathway to my success, and it has to be the pathway for the future. But Washington, D.C. should not control how we spend the money. We send millions of dollars to Washington, D.C. For what? No child left behind? Millions of children have been left behind. I firmly believe that education should be spent locally. Teachers in the classroom should determine, administrators here, the state, not the federal government. The millions of dollars that we send, the paperwork that is required to get the money back that we send. I mean, it is just unimaginable that people, one, could think that I am anti-education, and that has been the reason why I'm sitting here right now. And I told you this, Barry, when I was accepted into Georgetown, I couldn't afford to go, but my grandmother at 75 years of age cleaned houses to help me go. And I went to the same school as depicted in the movie Freedom Riders, which was a struggling school. But I got out, and it was because of education. And education is the most nearest and dearest thing to my heart. And to be depicted on television by, you know, the Democratic Party and Kirsten Sinema to say that education is not important, it just pains me.
I read this thing it's an article about you that after you got done with undergraduate school, you decided you want to be a lawyer. So you looked around and tell me if this is true or not. You applied to a couple of schools. You get a response back from Georgetown University Law School. All right, you don't sneeze at that. And the letter, is this true? The letter basically said, we get good news and bad news for you. We have a position here, but we do not have $1 to give you to go here. Is that true?
That is absolutely true. And so what I did, I sold everything I had. My grandmother, she started cleaning houses. My mother did the same. My brother, he gave me everything he had. And Barry, I bought a one-way plane ticket on People's Express. That was an airline. And it was a one-way ticket because,
Why was it one-way?
Because failure was not an option. Because I said to
back.
myself, if I got there and did a good job, guess what? They'd have to keep me. I got there. I had one of the highest grades in the first semester. And I told them, I said, I can't afford to stay. And they said, we will find a way.
Okay.
Which they did.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing them on the plane.
People's
with
Express.
The chickens and the goats.
No,
right?
it truly was. But you know what? I turned around when I got down the jetway, and this was pre 9/11. I turned around and I saw all of my family and friends who had never gone to any college whatsoever, and they were all staring at me. In tears.
Standing at the entrance of the jetway?
Yes, they were. It wasn't and it wasn't Barry like the Obama phone woman. I mean, these people really had tears in their eyes, and because they put all of their hopes and all of their dreams in me, and that is why I am running today, to make sure that future generations have that same opportunity to take a one-way plane ticket anywhere in America to better themselves if they want to.
That had to be a sobering thing. You're getting on People's Express, like Michelle said, and they got the goats and the chickens riding with them, and you got to fly to D.C., and you look back, and the whole family standing there.
Yes, and neighbors. There are about 30 people there. and I'm sitting there going, but that was so powerful because these are people who, high school was something. But to have graduated from college and to be going to become a lawyer, that was something special. Not for me, but for them.
I have to tell people because they can't see you, but you just talking about that, you have tears in your eyes.
Well, no, it is pretty. It's
an emotional story.
It truly is.
I'm thinking about all of your family, your neighbors, and all these people you love so much, who have given so much so that you could have this opportunity, standing at the top of the jetway and all doing a chorus of leaving on a jet plane, right?
No, it was We Shall Overcome.
We Shall Overcome. I love it.
And I want to say something else, because I had an opportunity to meet your wife on a number of occasions, and a lot of people might not know this. She too is a Georgetown University alum. Basically, you don't screw with these people. You just don't. And so I'm just wondering how she reacted, because I did a fact check on this. The woman running against you, Kirsten Sinema, she really did say in this magazine article that women are stay-at-home women are leeching off their husbands and their boyfriends
with expletives.
with expletives, and she later said it was all done tongue-in-cheek, whatever that means. And I just wonder what would happen if somebody walks up to your wife and said, "How's the leeching going lately?"
Oh,
How's that working?
They would be leached by far. I tell you what.
All right. All right, hang on a second. We got a couple of other things we're going to handle here before the end of the half hour. Vernon Parker's joining us here at KFYI. Great you've joined us. Don't go away.
Bad to the bone. Mike Broomhead, later today at 4:06. Barry Young, now. News Talk 550 KFYI.
KFYI.com.
921 from KFYI. As the financially troubled Arizona Republic described it about 20 years ago, the blustery little suburban radio station on the outskirts of town. Things have changed.
Yeah, we moved uptown.
Yeah, and we found out that you don't need ink anymore to... Vernon Parker is with us in the studios this morning. Now, I got to ask you this story, because I've heard you say this a number of times, and everybody likes to do fact checking nowadays. In fact, they put the word out. Axelrod, one of the biggest liars in politics, told Mitt Romney he better damn well tell the truth on this debate coming up on Wednesday evening. So we got a compulsive liar telling his opposition, you better be honest. You have said a number of times. And the commercials say this, too. Kirsten Sinema wants to close Luke Air Force Base. Or at least she said she wanted to close
Now
Luke
she
Air
doesn't, though, Barry.
No, she doesn't want to close.
Now she doesn't.
But
That's the funny part.
First she did, and now she doesn't.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what's the deal, do you think?
Well, now that she's running for Congress, she doesn't want to close it. But, as she said, she wants world disarmament. But look, she would have impacted. We would have lost 17,500 jobs, $2.2 billion to the state's economy. Not to mention the ripple effect for, that throughout the entire valley, because
how much is it worth again?
$2.2 billion. But she didn't oppose it for fiscal reasons. She opposed it because we were too militarily strong. And now we're saying, I don't really want to close it. Raul Grijalva, he wanted it. Even Raul Grijalva.
Mr. Boycott.
Yes, he wanted it.
He wanted to keep Luke
Gabriella Giffords, she wanted it. Everyone, the entire delegation, but she spoke out because she said that we are too militarily strong. And that is why she was not endorsed by the Tempe Chamber, which I was. And that is why she was not endorsed by the United States Chamber, which I was. And if you go to VernonParker.com, you will see exactly what she said.
See, here's the difference between you and Congressman David Schweikert. When the congressman's on by this period of time, he's mentioned DavidSchweikert.com about 11 times. You only got it at VernonParker.com once. Just once.
Because you know why? I want to talk about the issues, and I want to make sure one thing. That I want to find out one thing: where are those cell phones that Obama's giving
Obama
away?
Phones.
Obama phones.
Well, listen. Look, nobody here wants Luke Air Force Base closed. I mean,
she does.
Well, then then you keep saying this, and we'll call her that great Republican fundraiser, Kirsten Sinema. All you got to do is
no. She is a great fundraiser. She's gets a lot of money from the unions. She is just really tearing it up with the union support.
That's the big Democratic thing. I mean, they're hooked into the unions. That was the whole thing with the Democratic National Convention. It was all about they had a big pro-abortion fest there. I mean, it was an abortion copia of fun and frivolity and booing God and booing Israel and all of that. It'd be interesting. Are you going to have a debate with her?
Yes, actually, it will be a nationally televised debate.
Really?
It's going to be on C-SPAN.
No kidding. Okay, so it's a big network.
Tomorrow we have our first one, actually. It's with the Arizona Republic Editorial Board.
Well, why don't you ask her what she thinks about the United States standing by Israel? I mean, I'm curious. Is she a booer or not?
She's not been a supporter of Israel whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But maybe she will be now that she's running for the United States Congress. It's like she was a spokesperson for Ralph Nader. Mm-hmm. Now maybe she does not want to adhere and say that she was a spokesperson for Ralph Nader.
See, but here's the problem: when conservatives, Republicans come along and they say, my opponent wanted Luke Air Force Base closed, and then now they don't. Or maybe they're spokesman for Ralph Nader, and now they aren't. Maybe they were this, and now they're not, and all that. That's deemed to be unfair. You're being unfair. You are taking shots. What are they calling it now? I mean, they can't. Let's see. They can't call you a racist. So what are they?
Yes, they can.
Absolutely, they can. I'm sitting over here thinking about, because you were just talking about the convention and the magnificent abortion fest. Yeah, and you look at a candidate like this and all of the things that she said, meaning Miss Sinema, isn't this an attractive quality? Like, you could have all these associated blog spots for her, like killthebabies.com, close Luke Air Force Base, put everybody out of business.com.
Oh, wait a minute, I got one for you. I got to ask Vernon Parker. What is it? I heard this phrase, Protest-socialist. She said she's a Protest. You know what? We have equal time in place. I'm inviting her to come down. I want to know what the heck that is.
I have no idea, but I can tell you this. I am a proud capitalist.
Thank you.
I say a Protest-socialist.
All right. Well, look. So there's going to be a debate, and is this debate going to be one of these debates that's open to everybody? I mean, this is not going to be one of the TV studio debates.
Look, I really do wish that it would be, and I'm going to really work to make sure that the debate is in a public forum where she can bring her people and I can bring mine, and we can stand up and talk to the people. Let the people hear.
Yeah.
Or as who famously said, "Let the people decide." Oh, well, we don't want to go.
Yeah,
there.
I don't want to go there.
We don't want to go there.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on the air, and as two things I want to say. First of all, on the commercial break we took a few minutes ago, the first commercial that ran Well, it was not your spot. It was from a PAC or something, and it was an anti-Kirsten Sinema commercial. And
it's been running for several weeks.
Right. Now, I have to say this from time to time because there are people who don't understand it. They think we're sitting down here making it up as we go. That was scheduled, I don't know how long ago, and not by me or Michelle or anybody. I mean, even the disgruntled Mr. Garcia in there has nothing to do with that stuff. That's big mucky muck money stuff.
That's right. He's got to play it as it lies.
That's the thing. So that's the first thing, and we did not schedule. Let's get Vernon Parker in here because they're going to run that commercial. And another thing, that commercial doesn't say vote for Vernon Parker. Those kind of commercials can't pick a candidate. They can only beat up another candidate.
But we can say this: VernonParker.com, VernonParker.com, VernonParker.com. And if you are interested in volunteering, VernonParker.com, VernonParker.com.
There you go.
We need phones. We need walkers. We need to save this republic.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Well, look, again, we're going to do the equal time thing, and she is certainly invited to come on the air. The federal government has set this thing up where we have to. The curious thing about equal time is they got it all the way down, but they can't control what I get to ask.
That's a good thing.
That's an interesting point. So we and I'll be fair. Anything she said's fair game. Anything you've said's fair game.
We have a record.
All right. So at any rate, that's the deal, and the invitation is out, and it's up to them, the cinema thing, to get in contact with us. And right now, Babinski's standing by, waiting for a phone call. You standing by, waiting for a phone call right now?
I got nothing else to do.
All right. There you go. So,
and if I were her, I wouldn't be frightened away by the fact that we're in the tank for Vernon Parker.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? There you got it. All right. So listen, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Hope you enjoyed that over there.
We will have you. You got to come back. You got to come back before the general.
Absolutely.
T-minus 36 days and counting.
There we go.
All right. And by the way, when does early balloting start?
October 11th. That is key. 70% of the people vote will receive early ballots.
All right, there you go. So it's underway in 11 days, ladies and gentlemen. Vernon Parker, we're back in a minute. It's KFYI.